Hello friends, we are studying William Shakespeare's The Twelfth Night. We were in Act 5, Scene 1. And because Scene 1 is very long, so today we take the third part of this scene, that is line number 201 to 300. Sebastian enters on the scene and Sebastian speaks to Olivia. I'm sorry, ma'am, I have hurt your kinsman. Kinsman is relative, that is Sir Toby. But had it been the brother of my blood, I must have done no less than with wit and safety. But he says that okay, even if my attacker were my own brother, I have done this attack on that person in my self-defense. You throw a strange regard upon me, and by that I do perceive it hath offended you. Pardon me, sweet one, even for the vows we made each other but so late ago. So Sebastian says, Madam, I have hurt your cousin, but then you have recently shown a strange love for me, and please forgive me for that if I have hurt your feelings because we have recently promised to marry each other. Duke, one face, one voice, one habit, and two persons. A natural perspective that is and is not. So the Duke is also surprised because because Voila and Sebastian are look alike, and they are twin brother and sister, and so they exactly look alike, and both of them are dressed as men. So one cannot say which is which. Sebastian, Antonio, oh my dear Antonio, how have the hours racked and tortured me since I have lost thee. So Sebastian recognizes Antonio, and he talks to Antonio and says, okay, he has been greatly troubled because he had lost Antonio. So Antonio is also surprised because he thought Voila were Sebastian. So he says, he is also surprised and says Sebastian, are you? Means, are you Sebastian? Sebastian, fearest thou that, Antonio? Means, Sebastian asks, do you have any doubt on my being Sebastian? Antonio, how have you made division of yourself? An apple cleft in two is not more twin than these two creatures, which is Sebastian. So Antonio is also surprised, and he doesn't know which one is which, means whether Voila is Sebastian or Sebastian is Sebastian. Olivia, most wonderful. So Olivia is also amazed, surprised to see these two, brother and sister, who look exactly the same. Sebastian, do I stand there? I never had a brother, nor can there be that ditty in my nature of here and everywhere. So Sebastian clarifies that okay, if I am standing here, then I must tell everyone that I never had a brother, and I am not a god, so I can be omnipresent. I had a sister whom the blind waves and surges have devoured. He said, I had a sister, but then my sister has been drowned in the sea of charity. Means, kindly tell me, what kin are you to me? Means, what is the relation between me? He asked this question to Voila. What countryman, what name, and what parentage? Means, please tell about your parents, your name, and the country to which you belong, because Sebastian says he never had a brother. Voila, of Messeline, Sebastian was my father, such a Sebastian was my brother too. So went he suited to his watery tomb. If spirits can assume both form and suit, you come to fright us. So Voila says, that she comes from a country called Messeline, and her father's name was Sebastian, and she had a brother named Sebastian, and he was like him, the Sebastian who is present before her, but he drowned in the sea. And I am very surprised, if a dead person means can a ghost can come in the dress of a human being. So I am very frightened to see you, Sebastian. A spirit I am indeed, but am in that dimension grossly clad, which from the womb I did participate. Were you a woman, as the rest goes even, I should my tears let fall upon your cheek and say, thrice welcome, drowned Viola. So Sebastian says, yes, he is a spirit, but he was born from his mother's womb, and as a human being he is well dressed. And if Cesario were a woman, Cesario is dressed as a man who is actually Viola. So if she were a woman, then it is okay, and he should be happy, and he should drop some happy tears on the recovery of his sister. So he says, I will welcome you if you are my drowned sister Viola. Viola, my father had a mole upon his brow. So Sebastian says, and so had mine, means his father also had a mole on his brow, on his eyebrow, which means that they were the children of the same father, Viola, and died that day when Viola from her birth had numbered 13 years. And Viola says that her father had died when she was 13 years old. And Sebastian, oh, that record is lively on my soul. He finished indeed his mortal act that today that made my sister 13 years. And Sebastian confirms it, that yes, his father had died when his sister Viola was 13 years old. Viola, if nothing lets to make us happy both, but this my masculine usurped attire, do not embrace me. I stop here. So Viola says that okay, we are both happy, but we are not in fact really happy, because I have put on this masculine dress in disguise. This attire means this dress is disguise of a man. So do not embrace me till each circumstance of place, time, fortune do cohere and jump that I am Viola. And says, okay, you as my brother, you please embrace me, but not before I change my clothes. And we confirm that how the ship was wrecked and how they got separated from each other. Which to confirm, I will bring you to a captain in this town where lie my maiden weeds. So she says, my woman's clothes are lying with the captain who had rescued me from the sea, and whose gentle help I was preserved to serve this noble count. And she says, with the help of that captain, her life had been saved to serve this noble count, means Orsino. All the occurrences of my fortune since hath been between this lady and this lord. And after my rescue from the sea, all the time, about 3 months, she had spent in the service of Duke Orsino and Lady Olivia. Sebastian to Olivia. So it comes, lady, you have been mistook, but nature to her bias drew in that you would have been contracted to a maid. So he speaks to Olivia and says, lady, you have been confused, and you had been attracted to a woman of your own sex, and you were lucky that you have got engaged to me. Otherwise you would have been engaged to a woman. Nor are you there in my life deceived. You are betrothed doth to a maid and man. But he says, okay, now you are engaged to a maid and man also, because he wishes to say that he has not married anyone else, and so he is still unmarried, and so there is nothing wrong if she has got engaged to him. Duke, be not amazed, right noble is his blood. If this be so, as yet glass seems true, I shall have share in this most happy wreck. So the Duke says, okay, out of this shipwreck, means the accident of the ship that separated these two, the brother and sister, they are of noble family, they are of great family, and the glass means they are identical, their faces are identical, they look alike, and so he will also share the happiness of the union of the brother and the sister. To Voila, and speaks to Voila, boy, thou hast said to me 1,000 times, thou never shouldst love woman like to me. So the Duke is happy to say that Voila had spoken to him that, Voila at that time was in the dress of a man. So, and Voila had spoken to the Dukes 1,000 times that he would not love a woman as much as he loves the Duke. So the Duke now says that, okay, now I understand meaning why you said like this. Okay, you love me and I accept your love. So this is the meaning. Voila. And all these sayings will I overswear, and all those swearings keep as true in soul as doth that orbed continent the fire that serves that severs day from night. So Voila says, okay, all those promises which I made to you, I can make those promises again, and those promises are true, and this is the feeling of my heart, and this is as constant as the sun which gives light to the earth, and which is responsible for day and night. Duke, give me thy hand. So the Duke asks Voila to give him her hand. So this is a proposal from the Duke to marry Voila. And let me see thee in thy woman's weeds, and I want to see you in the dress of a woman. Voila, the captain that did bring me first on shore hath my maid's garments. He upon some action is now in durance at Malvolio's suit. So Voila informs that the captain who saved her life from the sea, he keeps her clothes, and for some reason that captain is now is under arrest on account of Malvolio's complaint of him. And Malvolio is a gentleman and follower of Olivia. He shall enlarge him, means Malvolio will make him free, make the captain free. Fetch Malvolio hither, and yet alas, now I remember me. So the lady regrets as the reference of Malvolio comes. She says, they say, poor gentleman, he is much distressed. So the lady regrets that he is much distressed, means he is mad. Malvolio is mad. Most extracting frenzy of mine own, from my remembrance clearly banished his. And she says, I was in a frenzy. She was pursuing her own love of Cesario, and therefore, because she was busy with her own love affair, and therefore she had completely forgotten Malvolio, but Malvolio is in a distress. Re-enter clown with a letter and Fabian. And Lady Voila speaks. How does he, Sirrah? The clown answers, truly, madam, he holds the Beelzebub at staves, and as well as a man in his case may do. Means he is trying to fight the devil. He has here written a letter to you. He has written a letter to you. I should have given it to you today morning. So he was expected to give this letter to Olivia in the morning, but as a madman's epistles are no gospels, but the letter from mad people are not gospels, means are not true, so it skills not much when they are delivered. So they don't care, they don't carry much message in them, and so they don't really matter. Olivia, open it and read it. Clown, look then to be well edified. So he says, okay, please be on your guard, be careful when the fool delivers the madman. So I am the official fool, and I am reading out the letter of a mad person, so please be careful. By the Lord, madam, and he stops. Olivia, how now? Art thou mad? So, this salutation of the letter is read by Clown Feste in such a fashion, in such a manner that he sounds mad. And so Olivia objects to the style of Feste and says, are you mad? Clown, no madam. I do but read madness, and your ladyship will have it as it ought to be. You must allow walks. So he says, okay madam, but this letter is written by a madman, so please allow me to imitate the voice of a madman. Olivia, prithee, read it in thy right wits. But Olivia says, no, don't imitate the voice of a madman. You read it like you are a sensible person. Clown, so I do, means I do it like normal person. Madonna, but to read his right wits is to read thus, and therefore prepend means attend to me, listen to me, my princess, and give ear means listen to me. Olivia to Fabian, because the clown is taking too many words and is not delivering the letter, not reading it. So Olivia is naturally perplexed, and she wants to change, and she says speaks to Fabian and says, orders him, read it, you see, means Fabian, please you read this letter. So Fabian reads the letter written by Malvolio. By the Lord, madam, you wrong me. You wrong me means you have cheated me. You are responsible for my misery, my problems, and the world shall know it, and all the people will know that you are responsible for my misery, though you have put me into darkness. That is, on account of my alleged madness, you have thrown me into a dark room and given your drunken cousin rule over me. And you have ordered your drunken cousin, that is Toby sir, to rule over Malvolio. Yet have I the benefit of my senses as well as your ladyship. So, but I am still in my senses, I am not mad, and I know that you are my employer. I have your own letter that induced me to the semblance I put on. So whatever, in whatever way Malvolio had behaved, he was led to behave because of a letter written by Olivia. And he thinks that this letter, he does not have any doubt, and that letter is, that enhances his reputation, but I doubt not, but to do myself much right or you much shame. So he says, okay, I am happy to have this letter, but if I bring this letter to the notice of the world, you will be ashamed of yourself. Think of me as you please. So whether you take me as your servant or whether you take me as your husband, your lover, I don't mind. I leave my duty a little unthought of. So you decide what is my duty and speak out of my injury. And I am speaking because I have been thrown into a dark room. The madly used Malvolio. So he puts his signature as madly used Malvolio. And friends, I think this is the end of it. We have one more part of this scene 1 left, and I think that will be the end of the play. So one more lecture to end this play. Thank you all.